So what's going on in the world?
I wanted to ask you guys something kind of, but a little story since I doubt y'all have really heard it. Horizon Forbidden West is supposed to be coming out next year now. I'm pretty excited. Maybe you'd seen some of the news, but they showed it off. They announced release dates, and then they mentioned that the PlayStation 4 version would not get a free upgrade to PlayStation 5, which is something they've been doing with some games where, like, you have the PS4 version.
So you got to buy it a second time? That's pretty bullshit.
That's so stupid.
Sometimes they'll do, which I think was what they were saying, is it would be like a $10 upgrade charge or something like that. But it's kind of weak because if you don't have a PS5 yet and you get it, and you get one later, you got to pay more, even though it's the same game. While Xbox is doing their like smart delivery thing where you buy the game and whatever console you put it into, you get that version, which,
that is really smart.
Yeah. But some games have had it. Some have had upgrades, like Ghost of Tsushima was supposed to be pay for the upgrade. Anyways, they had said before, though, that it would be free. So people flipped out. And then they came out and were like, okay, we messed up. We'll make it free. But just going forward, all of the games that are coming out on both, you'll have to pay $10 for. To get the upgrade.
Okay.
Yikes.
And
that's dumb as hell.
I just wanted to ask.
Okay, so next time we'll just make another big stink.
No, because this one was like they had different times where they said it would be free. And what they said was that they were talking about because it would still be in the launch window of the PlayStation 5. I don't really understand what their launch window entails because it's like months and months, but they wanted to give people the option since you wouldn't be able to get one right away. And I think they thought because it'd be over a year that the console's out, it's no longer launch window, so you have to pay. But they're saying it now so that people can't come out later and be like, you said, or you did it for the other ones or whatever.
Sorry, this fell off.
But my original thought was like, oh, well, if you buy that version, knowing you might want to play it on PlayStation 5 later, like if you buy a PS4 and then you get the PS5, I haven't been like replaying a lot of games, so I'm in my mind was like I'd just wait till I get a PlayStation 5 and play it. Not everyone wants to do that, I get that. But I kind of thought, well, you're buying it's a different version, so $10, like that seems kind of fair.
That's
a lot
fair.
of games are coming out as like 70, a handful. But then I thought about it and I saw some comments, people were like, imagine paying for a feature that PC users have always had.
Oh, never mind. I was going to say, this headline says Sony to offer free Horizon Forbidden West PS4 to PS5 upgrade after criticism.
Yeah.
But it says Sony commits to $10 PS4 to PS5 game upgrades.
Going forward after Horizon. Because they said like God of War and all these other ones that are getting...
Yeah. All right, I'm following you now.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, I was thinking it seemed fair, $10, like whatever, but again... Like PC users, you don't even buy. There's no different version. You get it and you play it on low or ultra or whatever.
That $10 is just the difference between the PS4 and PS5 version, though.
That's what I was saying, and because a lot of PlayStation 5 games looks like will be $70, so that's kind of how I felt about it. But I feel like people think that
I think you could just go and buy the PS4 version and expect to get the upgrade no matter what, right? Like, and you're saving $10.
Yeah,
which. I mean, I kind of understand why Sony's doing that then.
But I guess, I don't know, type it out. Does it say how much Horizon Forbidden West will be?
Sony has originally planned to force PS4 players of Horizon Forbidden West to purchase the $79.99 Deluxe Edition. It doesn't say what the regular price is. Deluxe Edition is $80. Collector's Edition is $200. The Regala Edition is $260.
It says the PlayStation 4 version, special launch edition $60, launch edition PS5 is $70. Yeah, so that's what I was thinking. I just felt like it seemed
I honestly
fair.
feel like that makes sense. Like I don't feel
it is also like kind of whack that they're making them $70. $10 price difference for the same game, updated textures and whatever. Like, that's cool, but it's the same game, and I don't know enough to say that they had to actually make two different builds, though, is my thing. Like, did they? Because it seems kind of weird that they would have to, but the PlayStation 4 has that weird architecture. No, it was PS3 that did. Never mind. So I don't really know. I just thought it was kind of interesting, and like I don't really care that much, but I also have like more disposable income maybe than some people that only get to buy a couple of games a year. So the $10 could be like kind of fucked up if you get a PlayStation 5 later and want to play it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That kind of thing doesn't bother me a lot, but it is weird that Xbox, they've been doing awesome with their like PR and letting it to be a free thing.
I feel like Xbox really has the consumer in mind more and more, and I really feel like they've learned a lot of the lessons that they've kind of fucked up on. As far as like we've talked about it before, but way back when they launched when they were pre-launch with the Xbox One, when they were like, it's a media machine, and then people were like, that's not what we want, and they've listened. I think that Sony is not like Sony's making great games and a really interesting like R&D with the controller and stuff, but I don't think they're doing a lot to satisfy the needs of the consumer the way that Xbox is.
Yeah, I agree, but I also think it's funny because every time one of these companies is doing really well, they misstep, and like PS2 was like the best-selling console, and then when they went to the PS3, they're like, hey, it's real expensive, and like backwards compatibility wasn't great, or really, I don't even know if it worked with all the games.
Non-existent, pretty much.
And
I mean, Sony fucking sucks at backwards compatibility.
Well, again,
compared to Microsoft.
I don't know if it was the like PlayStation 4, they tried to make it more standard, but as the way I understand it, PS3 was was very different. It wasn't like
Wasn't it like super hard to emulate?
Yeah, because it's so weird how they made it. I don't know enough to fucking say exactly what the deal is.
Bro, just say what the deal is.
But the fucking console architecture was different, where when they were making Xbox games, it wasn't just a like port to work with it was sometimes a struggle to get it to work on both, but because it's the two big names that everyone did it. But going to PS4, like you can't plug in a PS3 game because it's just so weird. They changed it. So I don't know. I just think that they're doing they messed up there. Then the Xbox 360 was big, and if you look at it, PS3 ended up like recovering and selling well. But everyone I knew had a 360, right? A couple people had PS3s.
Yeah, it was incredibly popular.
And then Xbox messed up with the Xbox One, and pretty much everyone was getting PS4s. And,
PS4 was huge, yeah.
And now I feel like it might swing a little bit the other way, but PlayStation does make really good games, and we've talked about Game Pass is great, but it's just a lot of like solid titles, but nothing like insane that I'm like I gotta get an Xbox for that.
I feel like a part of me feels like they are more neck and neck now in the competition because they each have something that is super desirable. Xbox has Game Pass. I don't think people care as much about the console, to be honest with you. And I think PS5 has a really fantastic console that people really want, and they don't have the supply.
Yeah, I mean, no one has. I mean, I've seen more Xboxes for sale for sure than PlayStation 5s, but yeah, I mean, and they've said that they're not really Xbox isn't really competing. They're like more worried about Game Pass, and like you said, they don't necessarily care about the console. If I have it on PC, that's all they care about. So I don't really think PlayStation's like screwed up with this or anything like that, but it just feels weird to me that they've been very messy with their messaging. And I mean, even the day that the PS5s went up for pre-order, they kept saying, well, we'll let you know ahead of time so everyone can be ready. I watched the conference and they didn't say when they were going to be up for pre-order, and then like Jeff Keighley tweeted that they'd be up that night, and I was at Fargon like just hanging out, totally missed it, and I saw that they were available, and I tried to get one on Walmart real quick and missed it, and I'm like, why would you not say that during the press conference? Like I don't understand, or the whatever you want to call their little shows. So they've been pretty bad about it forever. Even the first games they showed, they weren't saying if they were going to have a PlayStation 4 version, I think, because they were trying to show them off, like, look at all these PS5 titles. And eventually it's, oh, yeah, all of them are going to also be on PlayStation 4, so you can still play them if you can't get this console that no one can get. So,
Which I mean, I think is a smart idea because I mean, I know it's not selling any of more of their consoles, but no one can fucking get one right now anyway. Still, like,
yeah, and I mean, it's always been like that between generations, right? Where going from like Xbox 360 to one, and that generation, there were a lot of big games that came out on both. Like, wasn't Destiny on both of them, but eventually they had to cut off the 360 support because the game was getting too big and ridiculous, and they were being held back by 360. So I think it was that, or when they went to 2 or something like that. But that to me, it makes sense to do that kind of thing. But it's never before even had the ability to upgrade to the other version, really, as far as I know. So I don't know. It's not a big thing to me. But I just kind of thought that was interesting because it was kind of blowing up this last week, and
yeah, I didn't see anything about that.
The backlash made them come out and say we messed up, because they did say it would be free in the past, and stick to your word.
Like I said, it kind of doesn't make sense that it would be free, but because you could just go buy the PS4 version and get the upgrade.
Yeah,
it's an incentive though. If it incentivizes you to get the PS5 because you're like, well, I got this free game.
Well, but the only way Sony's making money off of the new consoles is they're basically in the hole for all the consoles who are making their money back through the price of the game.
Well, yeah, and like what Sean said, so I could go buy the PlayStation 4 version and then basically get the game $10 cheaper because I didn't buy the PlayStation 5 version.
Yeah.
Because it's 60 versus 70, and without the $10 upgrade, it's just I get it for 60 then and get an upgrade.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So that is weird, but I don't know. Just make it not 70.
Wow.
In the first place, and then it's the same price.
It's true.
It's true.
That's true.